to deal with. Another family losing their child and now fighting tooth and nail, fighting for justice to see the accusers, pay for the crimes they committed. Let's go to the phones and
Hey,
you can join
everybody.
in on the
Good morning. It's
conversation at
time
one
for
eight
Face
seven
to
seven
Facts.
five three
We'll
two
be going
five
on in a
seven
minute.
nine seven. You got Demetrius
I'm your host, Kelly Vaughn,
WERE
here in the
on the line, and you're keeping it
WOLB
real with Dominique
Kathy Hughes
Sharpton and Reverend Charles
Studios.
Williams. Good
Ready
afternoon.
for another show.
Tune in to the award-winning Dr. Pat Show, a positive show for positive people. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Hear from guests all over the globe with exciting and informative conversations about today's hot topics that impact your family and your community. Email us at drpatshow@hotmail.com and tune in Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to a positive show for positive people. We're waiting for you at the Dr. Pat Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Face to Facts.
2016,
It's almost go time.
Bob participated in a clinical trial with cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been
Hey,
more
Miss
interested
Deb.
in the kind of
Good
state-of-the-art
morning.
work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Les Garden Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org. WOLB Baltimore and WERQ.
Can you guys share this, please? Thank you so much.
Minority controlled and operate and serving the African American community for over 40 years. The views and opinions of the guests and host you here on 1010 WOLB may not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Hey, little bits. What's up, baby? Let's get y'all over here. There we go. Yeah. Jamie Foxx. Hey, got money. You got plenty to show, and that's fine. Hey, Sean, this joint is extra fast. You wanna hold my hand? You wanna hold my toe? You hear me, Sean? I don't need it. I can't even agree to that joint. That joint's like, jeez, guys. Come on. Hey, thank you, Miss Deb. Hey, y'all. Good morning. This joint is going to give me a heart attack trying to dance to it. Hey. Hello. Well, it's another Thursday. Welcome to Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn. I am your host, Kelly Vaughn. Thank you so much, Sean, for my theme song. Welcome to another Thursday on Face the Facts. Listen, thank you for everybody who is in on Facebook Live. Salute to you guys. I love you. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there that served our country, served us well. We know it's a larger Black population than anything else. So to all of my vets, thank you for your service to our country. Make sure that you go out and you get those good discounts today. One of my friends that's a vet says she went to breakfast today and paid minimal money. So take advantage of everything that's due to you, and thank you for your service to this country. Hey, on Facebook to Miss Deb, Lila Bits, Miss Sherry, and Shantae. Good morning. Thank you guys so much. Please share this. And hello to everyone who is streaming live at www.wolbbaltimore.com, where you can listen live while you drive, work, and play. All right, we're going to get down to it. But of course, I always have to. Hey, Lionel, thank you so much. I have to always make a couple of community announcements. So with that being said, this coming Saturday, that will be November the 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm hosting another vaccination clinic at Ark Church, located at 1263 East North Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202. We will be doing the booster shots. So if you need a Moderna booster or you need a Pfizer booster, Ark Church is the place to be this Saturday. You can come anytime from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You don't have to register. You can come and receive that. You do need to bring your vaccination card with you. If you have laminated it, you need to remove the lamination so that your booster shot can be recorded on your card. So just bring your vaccination card as well as your ID, and we'll be there between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. to serve you in getting your booster shot. All right. Oh, so last week I started off the show talking about the DPW in Baltimore City Department of Works. I received a call from a disgruntled one. Now, it's funny because I was driving in the city. I rolled up next to a DPW truck. The driver rolls down his window, and I looked over at him like, oh my gosh, I hope he didn't hear me on radio. He did. He gave me the finger. I bust out laughing. He bust out laughing. He was like, I'm just joking, little sister. Keep doing what you're doing. Some of us ain't right. Then I get a call from a worker who said, you messing with the livelihood of the DPW workers. Let me make something very, very clear. I don't pull into the DPW yard, park your car, get in a city vehicle, and go down Northeast Market. I don't. So if anybody's messing with the livelihood, you can take accountability for yourself. And as much as the DPW workers want us to call out everybody in city leadership and city government for what they would call mistreatment, guess what? You still have to do your job first. Worry about making sure you're doing your job the way you're supposed to before you look at anybody else. And if we're going to call out city leadership, what makes you exempt? What makes you exempt from being called out if you're not doing your job when you're supposed to do it? So, to the DPW workers that are doing their thing, that report the work, that are using their work time as it should be used, we salute you, we love you, we thank you. But for those who are complaining about what I may have to say about DPW workers, and you're actually a part of the problem, I'm not going to apologize. You're just going to have to get over it. Face that fact. All right. We're going to get down to today's show. I'm sure people are going to want to call in with their opinions. Again, thank you to everybody that is tuning in on Facebook. Lionel, Daryl, JoJo, and Katina. JoJo is Tia. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you share this. Also, again, hello to everybody at www.wolbbaltimore.com. We appreciate your love and your support for this radio station. Daryl on Facebook said, if the shoe don't fit, it shouldn't be a problem. And that's what it is. Hey, Will. All right. This is what we're going to talk about today. I was laying in the bed this morning between the hours of 3 and 4:30 a.m. I don't know. I kind of fell asleep last night early. And I was looking at this coverage from the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So Kyle Rittenhouse, he was 17 years old. He was a Illinois teenager, and he killed 2 people and wounded 1 other during the unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin last summer. So he's on trial for homicide charges, to which he's pled not guilty, in addition to the charge that has him as a minor occupying a rifle. Now he's 18, and he's charged with 5 felonies. And he testified yesterday in his own defense. Listen, you guys can start calling in because I know where I'm going. Y'all feel the same way, and I want to hear from you. The number is 410-481-1010. That's 410-481-1010. Hey, Patricia and Will. So I'm looking at the coverage like you guys were. And this dude is pulling something that my children used to pull on me. Hey, Real. He is on the witness stand, squeezing his eyes, trying to squeeze these tears out, shoulders shaking, body hunching, going through all of this stuff to act like he is the victim who was so afraid, so scared that he had to or felt justified in injuring and killing these people. This trial from the start for me has been very, very interesting, in which earlier on in the trial, you have a judge who gives clear instructions for those who were killed and injured not to be referred to as victims, and then says it's okay for you to call them looters and rioters, but not victims. These people were injured and died at the hands of another person. In definition alone, that is a victim. However, this judge said early on, you can't refer to them as such. This is disgusting on so many levels. So yesterday, Rittenhouse is on the stand. He's hunching and crying, and I didn't see anybody hand this man a tissue. Y'all call in and you can let me know if somebody handed him a tissue. But my feeling is no tissue was handed to him because wasn't no tears coming out. A turned up red face and some squeezed eyeballs to get some kind of tear out does not mean that you are emotionally affected, shaken to the point where there needs to be a break and all this. I mean, this judge fell for the bullcrap, in my estimation. You guys might think something else, but so he goes through all of that. Now, this is where it's about to get sticky. This is where it's not going to be justice for all in the end. The prosecutor then goes into a line of questioning that this prosecutor knows the judge had already thrown out this particular section of evidence, which means you shouldn't be bringing it up in trial. But he did it anyway. At that time, the judge dismissed the jury and went in on the prosecutor. Because the judge, of course, no matter how right or wrong he is, and I do believe this judge is not a just judge, because I don't believe in not referring to people who got killed as victims. They didn't kill themselves. Somebody else did it. They're a victim. I don't care what they were there for. That's just me. But, he ruled this piece of evidence out as not being relevant. And because this prosecutor brought it up, then that gave the defense a space to say, hey, we want you to dismiss this trial. We want you to declare a mistrial. And we want you to do it with prejudice. Now, if it's without prejudice, it can be brought back in to a trial sequence. But if it's with prejudice, it means that Kyle Rittenhouse cannot be charged with this. Again, he cannot be taken back to court, which essentially means this 17-year-old at the time and 18-year-old now, little white boy that, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, displayed nothing but egregious white prejudice and white privilege, will essentially be getting away with murder. I found it really, really interesting that Rittenhouse, even on the stand, acknowledges that a plastic bag was thrown at him and he felt like his life was in danger. But you show up with an AK assault rifle. Listen, you guys can call in, and I encourage you to, because I was on social media this morning and we were all talking about it and everybody has their ideas about it. I want to hear from you. You can call in at 410-481-1010. That's 410-481-1010. We're going to go straight to the lines and get to Brother Leo. Brother Leo, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Sister Kelly Vaughn. God bless you for always bringing up the kinds of information and the kinds of challenges that we should face and understand. I happen to think that Kyle Rittenhouse, who did not live in Kenosha, Wisconsin, he came from, as I understand it, he came from Illinois to commit an assault. That's why he had an assault rifle. He came because he's a vigilante. And he felt that he was going to checkmate any efforts on the part of liberals, white, black, anybody who wants to assert justice. He felt that he ought to put them in his place. So he is a white racist extremist as far as I'm concerned, and I hope and pray that he will be executed, although I don't think he will. I would execute him with a firing squad in a heartbeat. The judge is clearly biased. He is a bigot.
Big time.
And, you know, what does it reflect? How does this reflect on America? Well, are we in South Africa? Yeah. In South Africa and Wisconsin, Wisconsin incarcerates, percentage-wise, I am told, more black people than any other state in the nation. This is what I'm told. And so, if that being the case, the Confederacy has expanded greatly, and Wisconsin is the place to watch and to be vigilant. And again, we must be prayerful, and yet we must protect and defend ourselves against the kind of white extremism that is flourishing in America today. Thank you for bringing this to our attention one more time.
Thank you, sir. You too. Thank you. Gonna go right back to the lines, but before I do, I want to read some stuff off of Facebook. So Kim says, we know if Rittenhouse were black, the judge would have let the prosecutor slide on those comments. I agree with her. Stacy says, oh no, he needs to be charged to the fullest as an adult. The victims didn't ask for that to happen. Now, let's be clear. When this happened, yeah, it was unrest. It was unrest in the city because of something else that happened. And Rittenhouse got on the stand yesterday and said that him and a group of other people decided to travel there because they were protecting some car lot from what they thought were rioters and looters. But one of the people who was injured was a EMS person who was there to be proactive on the scene and lend a hand, and certainly did not threaten him or any of that. And yet he became a victim, whether the judge wants to refer to him or not as a victim. He's truly a victim because he was not there doing anything wrong. He was there to help and help save people. So let's go back to the lines and pick up with Sandra. Sandra, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you? Kelly, you saw the same thing I saw, but I was also watching the body language of the judge, and they seemed like they was at a sideshow when the prosecutor was questioning Rittenhouse. This is white privilege that's being played out, and he knows he's white, and he knows about his privilege, so he boo-hooed. You're right, there was no tissues offered to him.
Exactly. I didn't see anybody. Yeah, I didn't see anybody. Nope.
And his mother should be charged because she drove him there, and she was sitting there with all that black eyeliner underneath her eyes so she could cry. And the defendants, yes, they knew the prosecutor was going to do what he did. That's why they jumped up and held a mistrial. And the judge seemed like he was hiding from me because if you notice, every time you look at him drinking something, it looked like Diet Coke or something, and then he wrapped in this rage. Look at his body language. Look at the defendant's body, lawyer's body language. They snigger and grinning and
Good morning.
flapping their ears and their eyes. They seemed like they was having nothing but a clown show.
That's all I saw.
Rittenhouse was well rehearsed when he got up on that stand. For a boy to be 17 years old and the kind of language that he was using, you could tell that his lawyers had prepped him beautifully to sit up there and go into that tirade rage, little boy, 9-year-old rage. He couldn't even bring up no tears. All he was doing was swelling up.
Good morning, Lady B. Good morning, Carlton.
And look at when the prosecutor asked him something, he looked right to the judge to see the judge's response. All of this, so many people on this Rittenhouse case have been paid, and he's going to walk.
Well, it looks like, yeah.
He's just like Dylan Roof. Roof was a racist, and he's a racist. And no, they're not going to put him in jail because he's a white boy.
I can't disagree with what you're saying.
That's right. And you know what? Look, they're trying to make him a model. Look what they raised the money for his defense. Millions of dollars, and Donald Trump is in this too. So yes, I want to know the history about that judge.
Well, the history of the judge, he is a Trump supporter, big time. I mean, even his sentiments and what he allows and won't allow in the case rings nothing but Donald Trump, to where there are protesters and a little bit of unrest, and then everybody gets painted as violent rioters and looters, to the point that he will mandate over the course of this trial, you will not refer to those who died. See, when he first did it, I didn't get it. I didn't understand what he was talking about. But I read back over it and I looked at it again, and I'm very clear on it. He said, for the victims, I mean, for the people who were shot and killed and the person that was injured during the course of this trial, you are not allowed to refer to them as victims. However, you can refer to them as rioters and looters. Now,
Kelly, I'm going to go. Rittenhouse, if you look at his body language, he knew what he was supposed to say.
Thank you, Troy.
He knew when his defense lawyer was going to sit back in his chair and pull his ear and give him the cue to go into his rages and to respond to what was said. If you listen to Rittenhouse, he acts like he was a lawyer when he first got up on stage. I mean, on a witness stand.
He did. He really, it was rehearsed.
I don't care what nobody say, and he's getting the same treatment and respect from the white community, like, what's his name, Dylan Roof. They turned Dylan Roof to McDonald's and sit him down. They fed him.
Sure did.
They told him to go home and get yourself together. They allowed the Rittenhouse to go home. And his mother, he brought up on charges because she goes in there.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I agree with you.
Tell her to put a box of tissue for her. She's going to cry with all that black makeup on her eyes. They try to make
that eyeliner got
She was a clown commission up there crying. And Rittenhouse was like a big teddy bear sitting up there swelling up trying to cry. You know how you tell your children go to their room and what do they do? Swell up and try to show your kids, right?
Exactly. I mean, he had to.
Hey, you see what I saw. You didn't see how one tear come down. He was trying to beat his chest, trying to make everything fit like he's crying.
You're right. Well, thank you, Miss Sandra. Appreciate your thoughts and opinions. That's what it is. Thank you so much. You guys can still call in. We have 3 lines available, 410-481-1010. That's 410-481-1010. Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse. It's a show. It's a mockery. And there will probably be a mistrial in the end. We're going to pick up on the lines with Dante. Dante, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good, good morning, family. That's a great topic that you got today. It's just kind of like a understanding for us to understand like what sort of like a white lash, and people probably think like in their mind like, well, how could you say that because a white man was killed too? Well, you got to understand that that white man was out there helping
Right.
black people.
Right.
So it's nothing worse for to be a white man than to be trying to help black people, which will be considered a nigger lover. Like you actually worse than a black person when you out here trying to help them. You was not taught. You shouldn't be teaching them to read. You shouldn't be allowing them to get free through slavery. You shouldn't be doing anything to help them advance their cause.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, when Rittenhouse originally was brought up on this, them white patriots, and that's what they call them. They call us looters and rioters when we do things, but they call them white people that raided that Capitol on January the 6th.
Patriots. Yeah.
Even the president called them patriots.
Yeah,
so
sure did.
People gotta understand, like they just giving us an understanding, like yeah. So y'all see the black man that got killed. Don't get all wild about that. Oh, because a white person was killed too. So what? That white man wasn't nothing as far as they're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
To us, to them, they looking at him like I said, he's a nigger lover. He out here trying to fight for the cause of something that we don't even support. So we got to understand what they really showing us. And for all we know, the prosecution could be part of throwing the whole trial. You get what I'm saying? Like you got to understand there's big money behind this stuff. They don't want to get that boy that charge and then have to live with the reality that now the people in those areas are threatening and so on and so forth. They've been calling congressmen, threatening their life, calling them all types of curse words and so on and so forth. So reality of it is these people are complicit in all the things that they got going on. Imagine a black boy at 17 years old crossing state lines with an AR-15. And not only that, they say he bought the gun with the PPP money, with the money that he got from that. Imagine a young black boy crossing state lines to go hold up something to really gun something down if and with a paramedic bag. You got AR-15 bullets. Ain't no paramedic bag that he carried could have helped nobody that was shot with an AR-15. Like it's just the story is just so terrible. Just like LeBron James said, there's no way in the world that y'all would be saying that this boy ain't did nothing. He really just put on a show, crying, acting like he's doing all that stuff. Like it's really a white lash. Like they really showing us exactly this is what's getting ready to happen. And if y'all don't stand up and pay attention, this is what we're gonna do to y'all. Yep. We don't really have a win in it technically because he's gonna beat the charge and they're gonna support him and back him for that. So we don't really have no win in that situation. It's just an understanding for us to know, like, don't think that this won't happen in another state or another city or so on and so forth because they run the whole system from the judges to the prosecutors, all of them. They could all be in cohorts together, to be honest with you. But
I appreciate you for calling in. Thank you. You too. So Lady B on Facebook says, my mom calls this type of trial a force. It's just for show. For the public, they are not going to do a thing about him. Misty says, if someone hit me with a skateboard and then came at me with a gun pointed in my direction, I'm going to defend myself. The man admitted on the stand that his gun was pointing at Rittenhouse. Anyone would have defended himself. So I agree with that to a point, but the kind of assault weapon that this 17-year-old minor showed up to this with, first of all, he had no business having it. Second of all, his mother drove him there with it. It's not like he just, had a pistol in his pocket. And if I see somebody carrying a rifle on their back, mind you, when he came across the guy that had the pistol, he had already shot and killed somebody. So if I know that, okay, he just shot somebody and killed them, I'm going to smack him with a skateboard. And yes, I'm going to take my pistol out. Absolutely. Because at that point, he's not in a stance of defense. He's in a stance of attack. The person that he killed first had no gun on him. I'm going to see if I can get to Gator John real quick before this break. Gator John, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good afternoon, my sister.
See, when we look at these pink people, I say all the time that they're only their ancestors' children, and they're not going to change. See, when the prosecutor, and the attorney, you know, right, all looks at, and the judge, all looks at this little young pink devil, you understand, as a clean-cut young man. How can we send him to jail? They only have one issue that they're trying to figure out, because they got 2 trials going on of the 3 devils that stand to kill the black boy jogger. How are we going to set all 4 of these people free, you understand, and the country be okay? See, we look at these daggone devils, and they're not going to change. The same way if you look at that insurrection over there in D.C. when they had it on the 6th, that was the parents. You didn't see none of them little 16, 17-year-old children. So if the parents is like that, what do you expect their children? That was just to display how thousands of them is.
Yeah.
In our schools, everywhere. These people are dangerous. The best thing is to try to stay away from them as much as you possibly can. I mean, you know, if you can look at the judge. Look at the judge himself, you understand? He's already saying, you understand, I'm going to set this boy free because he looks like he might be my grandson or something. How can I send him to jail for killing those nigger lovers, as the other caller just said? Thank you, my sister. Stay safe, but we're going to be all right. All we got to do is figure out how to stay away from them devils as much as we can.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your thoughts and opinions. Listen, we're going to take a really quick break. I see Brother Carlos Brown from Sandtown. Carolyn, we'll be right back to you after this break. This is Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn, WOLB. Okay. Yeah, Misty. Misty, can you elaborate about it being a horrible situation on both sides? I wanna clearly understand your thought, and I'll bring it back up. Thank y'all so much for participating. Appreciate you. This dialogue that's going on in Facebook is great. Thank you guys so much. Hey. I'm ready, Sean. Listen, welcome back to Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn. Thank you guys so much for participating in this conversation. Thank you to everybody over in Facebook. They have a really good conversation going on there. I'm waiting for one of our contributors to elaborate on the point she was making, and I'll bring it back up. But before then, I'm going to go back to the lines to Carolyn. Carolyn, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm really enjoying and listening to you and the way you negotiate in college, too.
Thank you.
Cutting people off and you're letting people get their full opinion out. Thank you very much for that.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. I want to hear from the people, and I want the people to have a platform to come to and say what's on their mind.
I should go over to Facebook. It's on Facebook too. Is that what you see?
Yeah, you can go to Facebook. You just put in the search bar Face the Facts, and it'll pop up. It'll pop up with Kelly Vaughn, and you click in there. And every week it is live, and all you're gonna see is me and my face. Every Thursday. Every Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30. Uh-huh. Yeah, not a problem at all. You just go.
Ms. Vaughn, to listen to you. And I'm like I said, the conversation is excellent. I'm looking more at how you are managing callers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Skilled, okay. Talk structure, host, because it should be two-way talk.
Absolutely.
But you're being very, very generous with your callers, and thank you for that. And I'm going to listen to your show. The only thing I'd like to ask people to do, once we vent and we agree with the facts of what we're witnessing, let's immediately start thinking about what is our response.
So you're saying what actions we should take after we listen?
We need to be thinking that now and talking about these are the options. There's no sense in just letting this play out and we just have a situation where we have explosions all over the country. What is our response going to be if it does not work out the way it should?
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And this is why this show is important.
1 years old. And I'm sure some of these older listeners, they know too. Let's go over there and let's talk about what responses are going to be. Okay?
Thank you so much, ma'am. We're going to get to Brown. Brown, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good morning. Brown from Sandtown. Well, Rittenhouse is not doing no more than what anybody else would do in that situation. They would cry out. But my focus is not on him. My focus is on the prosecution that's trying to throw the case on purpose. That's what the focus should be on. The attorney has continued to warn the prosecution, you cannot say this, you cannot bring it up. They continue to do it, knowing that if the attorney throw the case as a mistrial, he cannot be retried. Rittenhouse attorneys came to go to work, and that's what they're doing. But the prosecution is just trying to set them free on purpose. The jury is there to listen to the case and the evidence, but the prosecution is not doing that. And that's the problem that I see. It's the prosecution. And the question should be, why are they trying to throw this case on purpose and set them free? The judge is going to come back with a hung jury. I mean, it's already there. This case is over for the incompetence of the prosecution of what they're trying to do. They do not want to try him. And that's the bottom line. They want to set him free. And that's what the state and the prosecution is trying to do, and they're going to do it on their neglect of either trying to get a conviction. They don't want a conviction. And you can see that. And the judge have warned them several times what they cannot do, and they continue to do it. That's the only way I see it, Kelly Vaughn. Do you see it that way?
Absolutely. I have to agree with you that it would call into play. You know, the judge went off on him, but he was absolutely correct. These are the basics of trial law. So you know that if something is ruled out, you know, there are so many preliminaries that take place before you actually get the trial. And if it has been ruled by this judge in the absence of a jury that certain evidence should not come into play during this trial, and no, I keep saying it, I don't agree with the judge and how the victims can't be called victims and everything. But either way, this stuff was already agreed upon before they went to trial. So for this prosecutor to still bring it up in spite of that, yes, the judge is going to be ticked off. The judge is going to tell him off, and he has a right to. And then it would bring into question what you said. Is he purposely trying to throw this trial? I can't kick that thought out, because it would seem like a state's prosecutor would know firsthand the rules of engagement in a trial, and it is seeming like he's just doing what he wants to do, which would result in a declaration of a mistrial, which looks like that's about to happen. And the judge said very clearly, I will be taking that into consideration. So I do agree with you, absolutely. And thank you for calling in with your thoughts. My man, that's a good outro. Sean, I'm gonna get me an outro like that. We have 3 lines available. You can still call in 410-481-1010. That's 410-481-1010. I'm be like, Kelly Vaughn, face the facts. Like, I don't know. I got Kelly Vaughn, hashtag D12 better. That might be it. I don't know. I'm going to get back to the line, so I still want to hear from you. We're going to pick up with Brother Carlos. Brother Carlos, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
appreciate you and bringing this information to the forefront so that we can discuss it. I'll take it from a different angle. I agree with the caller before Brown that there are many things that we need to start thinking about or should have been thinking about before in terms of how we confront this racism that we have, what we call white man's justice, and how we should not be opting out of serving on juries, and
MEJ.
how we should be
I love that man.
voting to change the people that prosecute us and this type of thing. And I mentioned in this just because in the Rittenhouse case, being a young man, Oprah Winfrey once said that the old people and their racism will just have to marinate and die away. And so that the young people coming along will have to take up the mantle and be more fairer and non-racist. But that does not seem to be the case. The young people that are being brought up, particularly in the white race, they are embracing and being taught the same tenets of racism that their parents have lived with. And as Nat Turner, the great revolutionary, the Reverend Nat Turner said when he made his foray through Southern Virginia, and he killed those people on those plantation owners and overseers on there, and there were certain young people left left there without being harmed. He said, and they asked, "What should we do?" And he said, "Kill them because nits make lice." Nits make lice, and the main point here is that the white people, and they say that they are good white people, but there might be good white people, but there are a sufficient amount of racists and white people who are not good, who have evil intentions, that they overwhelm the good white people, and so that they carry on that same racist history. And so that's why he said, nits make lice. That's what happens. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brother Carlos. Going back to Facebook, Troy says, another example of a very elaborate, well-scripted stage play. And my guy, Michael Eugene Johnson, says, Kelly Vaughn, straight no chaser. That might be my outro, Sean. That might be my outro. What liquor is like that people drink, straight no chaser? What is that? Sean said any drink, y'all. We're going to get right back to the lines and pick up with Sharon. But after I get Sharon, I got to share with y'all the discussion that went on in the Facebook Live page. Sharon, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Yes, how you doing, Kelly? And I was looking at the court trial of the young man, Rittenhouse, and he know what he did. He know what he did. He took, shot 3 people and killed 2. He know exactly what he was doing, but he want people to feel sorry for him, like he went there supposed to be protecting some car place, and knowing he was going there for to shoot somebody with that rifle. If there was a young black guy going down there in the streets like that in the Black Lives Matter, he would have got killed. And it don't make no sense. It's just so dangerous right now for young black men. That's why me and my husband, we have to fight for our sons. We if they go someplace and the atmosphere not all that go good, we say, call us and let us know. And it's just a doggone shame how that boy sits up there. Then when he was crying, he couldn't even get a tear out.
I'm gonna let her go
he was constipated or something.
Couldn't
get them tears out for nothing because he knew he was an evil young man, and he knew what he did was wrong. And that judge, I ain't never seen a judge like that before.
It's coming, yo. It's coming.
It's like he came somewhere from off another planet the way he was acting. And it's just terrible how, things is right now in our country where all our black men lives got to be taken because of the color of their skin. It's just more mind-boggling that it still keep going on and passing on because the white people don't want to stop this racism. And why they can't come to the table at their own house or their town meeting and talk about this thing and leave our young black men alone. Leave them alone. If God didn't want us here, he wouldn't have put us here. So, it's not right. And I ain't never see such court trial before like that. The prosecutor and the other howling and yelling in the court. I thought you couldn't do that in the court. And if you are a lawyer, but it's just terrible. I had to turn it off. I couldn't look at it no more because they want to get this white boy off. And I told my sons to fight for yourself.
There we go.
Fight, because you haven't did nothing wrong. The only thing the white man see that's wrong is just.
Hey, Charles, thank you for listening from Upper Marlboro. Appreciate it.
Black people are not bad people. They're good people, good, honest people. We want to build up this country and make the white man wealthy. But they don't want us to have what they have.
Because it's going on Facebook, honey.
God going to fight this fight for us. If we call on him and pray.
I'll give her one more
all we
minute.
got to do is pray. You straighten it out. You read the Bible. All the evil was in there. God took them all out. So thank you for letting me express myself. Thank you.
No, always a pleasure, Miss Sharon. Always good to hear from you. Kiss your kids for me. I know they don't know me, but tell them I respect them and I love what they're doing as adults and honoring their moms. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate your sons too as well. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All righty. Bye-bye. So you have just a little bit if you still want to call in. It's 410-481-1010. Have all lines available. But let's get down to this Facebook conversation that's going on because I got to scroll back. And look at this. Now, I said Misty's earlier comment. Well, first of all, Neil said, I hate to say it, but I think he's going to get off. Shaking my head. Absolutely. Tia, thanks for tuning in. Aunt Jackie, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. But Misty says, we have to remember as well that many people that were out there had weapons illegally. It was a horrible situation on both sides. Sad. So, yes, I did know that. I did know that there were quite a few people that came out there strapped up. What side they were on, I'm not sure. And remember, this unrest that was taking place at that time was due to the police shooting of Jacob Blake. So you had protesters, you had demonstrators, you had people that are part of the Back the Blue movement. If that's even considered a movement, I guess it is. I mean, I can't, but whatever. So Lady B says nobody's talking about the fact he was in the wrong state and out after a legal curfew was in effect at the age of 17. That's a big fact. That's a huge fact. So then Misty says, Lady B, a lot of people that were there were out of state on both sides. And I do know that. I knew a crew that went down there from Baltimore. She goes on to say, people were there to protest injustice, and so many people were hurt. I wish it was all peaceful, but adrenaline took over. And indeed it did, Misty. I also believe that the media had everything heightened, and people were scared of each other. Now, I'm going to agree with you, Misty, but I'm also going to say that the media simply was reporting the things that Trump and a lot of other Republican governors, senators were putting into place. Remember, the media weren't the ones that were calling everyone rioters and looters. It actually came from our then and so happy former president, number 45. Lady B said, that don't make it right on either side. The law applies to both sides. And if there's a legal curfew, all of them are breaking the law. People don't seem to see that. Tia said everybody is in cahoots. I agree with you, girl. I do. Um, then Misty says that would make anyone out there after curfew wrong on both sides, which is what Lady B said. Media confuse everyone by showing rioters and looters and not more peaceful protesters. I agree with you, Misty. It's all about ratings and the hottest story. People watching the news saw anyone protesting as rioters and looters. The media fueled people into lumping rioters in with peaceful protesters. The media should have showed more peaceful protesting. I think that for some of the news agencies, that is very correct. And for some of the news agencies, they just wanted to show the full scope. And if you notice, a lot of the people that were peaceful protesters did, in fact, adhere to the curfew. But as soon as the sun goes down and it's dark, it's easy to loot and riot. It's easier to loot and riot. And I think that's what people were capitalizing off of. Lady B said, don't know how many protests you have personally been in, but when you're out there, even to protesting, you are a lawbreaker. And she was speaking to the fact that people were out there after the curfew had commenced. Thank you to Charles Johnson from Upper Marlboro. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, so Kevin says, it's amazing to me how you can just shoot 3 people and walk down the street with an AK and not get killed by the police. People have been shot with nothing in their hands, just talking. And I would have to agree with Kevin, right? We've all seen a story where something was mistaken for a gun that wasn't a gun. We've all seen a story where an officer thought they saw a gun and a weapon was never retrieved after they've killed the individual. There's even a story where Rittenhouse actually checked in with the police. I'm inclined to believe that because he's walking down the street, there's video of it, with his weapon strapped to his back, sometimes even holding it. And these police cars, and they're just passing him by. Now, if I see somebody who is not a part of the department walking down the street with a weapon, I'm thinking somebody should approach him to see what's going on. Not a lot of people did. The other thing is that Rittenhouse testified to the fact that, his adrenaline was up and he was running after he had shot people and he simply collapsed in the street. Were you tired from your killing spree, sir? Like, what is that about? So we will all in the days to come be watching this case. If I had to call it, I would say probably there's going to be a mistrial declared. But like much of you has said, and much of you even on Facebook Live and YouTube, everybody on YouTube Live, thank you for watching. But it would seem as though this is turning out to be something scripted. I go back to the fact that the prosecutor knows full well the rules and is not following them. I'm going to pick up with Sherry real quick. Sherry, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Just everything. Good morning, Kelly, and all the listeners. I can agree with everything everybody said. But
you awake,
one question one lady called that really stood out to me, and that was, what will your response be? That's a very good question, and it's very interesting, and people need to ponder on that. I remember when really Baltimore City, after the Freddie Gray riot, Baltimore, these young people, I was proud of them. I really was. Because when Freddie Gray got killed, it was like they was not going to take it. And that's when you got all these other movements, the Me Too movement and all. These young people in Baltimore City, they set the tone. And I was there and I seen it and I said, go ahead, young people. They wasn't going to take it. So you know what? That was a very good question. She said, what is your response? I'm a radical person. It's telling people, you better start bearing arms. Okay? Because even when you go to the gun shops now, you only allow a certain amount of ammunition. We running at Walmart picking up food, but you better start going to these ranges. You better start getting your permits, and you better start getting your ammo. Have a good day, Kelly Vaughn.
Thank you, Miss Sher. You always put it where it needs to go. Troy on Facebook said a 17-year-old is not emotionally equipped to handle a situation like that. Therefore, shouldn't have even been there, especially with an assault weapon. And I agree with him so much because we have police officers who were not adequately trained to deal with the situation, or even sometimes minor traffic stops. I mean, we're not even talking about something of this proportion. We're talking about minor things that our officers that we employ are not even well versed in dealing with. So I agree with you. G, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? Thanks for accepting my call. As far as this trial goes, and I don't know if people know it or not, but before Trump got out there, they took a donation up for this kid. The guy that do the My Pillow commercial, he donated $1.4 million to this guy, this Rittenhouse kid. And the way that it's going now, he's going to get off with a mistrial. The judge already done told him that. He's done told him 3 or 4 times that he's going to get off. And, I stopped watching it because it was making me angry with the judge, the way he getting on the prosecutor. At least little thing the prosecutor say, he tried to throw it against him. But the kid's going to get off. And he's going to be another George Zimmerman. He'll be able to go around here and brag about he killed a black person and nothing happened to him.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you, G. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So as far as the females are concerned, I told my wife, no, do not buy no pillows, no sheet, nothing from this guy that advertises. He advertises on TV. Michael, I think it's Michael Lane.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
That.
He does look like a kid because he is a kid.
My pillows and my sheets and stuff. But he donated $1.4 million to this kid. And then his mother sit there and try to cry yesterday. I don't know why they don't give her for something. She's the one who drove him down there.
Exactly, and he was a minor at the time.
Right. And he makes it sound like he just bought the gun to go hunting. And when the prosecutor asked him, showed us thing where he shot the guy, and all of a sudden now he can't see nothing. He told the guy, I can't see it.
Out of control.
Get his tail and send him to jail like they did the guy that killed George Floyd.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for accepting my call.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you so much. Thank you. I didn't know I was a vet. All right. Listen, thank you guys so much for this very important conversation. We will all be watching in the days and weeks to come. Matter of fact, the judge just said it would be ideal if trial was finished tomorrow. That's what the judge wants. Don't know if it will be finished tomorrow or not. But what I do know is that all of this seems very shaky. The fact that this prosecutor would so blatantly go against a judge and ignore things that he knows, this prosecutor knows that what he's doing could very well result in a mistrial. And they're asking for a mistrial with prejudice, which means we can't come back and get this guy. As always, this has been very relevant and timely conversation. I want to thank everyone who tuned in, everyone on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. I love you guys. Can't wait to talk to you. You can keep talking in the comments after this is over. Thank you so much. Download the app at www.wolbbaltimore.com and follow us on Twitter at WOLBbaltimore. Listen, this has been Kelly Vaughn with Face the Facts. I'm saying to you, I'll see you later. Mask up, stay safe, peace.
I got options. Any money more.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too. Even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. It all starts the process to help you stop your demand.
So listen, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please feel free to share this on your pages on Facebook. You can go to YouTube to the Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn page and share it from there. For people that might not have Facebook, but this was a very relevant conversation, and of course, you know, we'll all be following the case, and it may come to a point. Hold on, y'all, I gotta shake my head because it was getting on my nerves. Woo, okay. We're definitely gonna have to come back when this is over and talk about the results of it. We can guesstimate all day, but one thing for sure, it will play out, and it will play out in front of us. So we'll be tuned. We'll figure it out. And once again, I just want to thank you guys for being so engaging. I know that some people have to work. I know that some people are uncomfortable with calling in. I am very appreciative for those who do have the courage to call in, but I certainly understand those who can't. So that's why it's important that we keep these other mediums so that you can express yourself. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to get out of here, go over there and chat with my producer. Kevin, thank you so much. I'm sure going to try to. And I don't know who the hair gel person is, but I hope you got your little thoughts about mohawks out. I have a mohawk. I don't know. But thank you so much. And I'll talk to you guys next week right here on Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn.